Hello and welcome. Today we have a couple of interesting stories, including one about how a group of teenage sisters decided to deal with their mother for refusing their request to have their own bathroom to themselves. Sit back and enjoy with a cup of coffee.
Am I the idiot for asking my girlfriend to start making me breakfast every morning?
I, 27M, have been living with my girlfriend, 29F, for several months now. For the most part, things are really good and I plan to propose soon and hopefully have at least a couple of kids with her. However, we've run up against a conflict. She's an absolute morning person. I hate mornings. By the time I force myself out of bed in the morning and into the shower, she's already been up for at least 30 minutes, even though she has to be at work later than I do, and is at the stove making breakfast. She likes a huge breakfast in the morning. She usually has eggs, either French toast or pancakes, hash browns or breakfast potatoes, and sausage or bacon. Sometimes on weekends, it's ham or steak. She eats almost nothing for lunch and usually has a smallish dinner, but she loves a huge breakfast. Meanwhile, I only ever have cold cereal for breakfast, or maybe if I'm feeling really ambitious, some instant oatmeal and orange juice. I only even start to come alive halfway through my second cup of coffee and definitely don't feel like cooking in the morning. However, my girlfriend obviously does. So recently I asked her if she'd start making breakfast for me, too. She asked if we were going to trade off and if I'd sometimes make breakfast for her, too. I told her no, but reminded her that I do often make dinner for her. She said that since we trade off making dinner, we should trade off making breakfast, too. I told her that there is no way I'll ever be able to muster that kind of energy first thing in the morning, but that since she obviously can, that she should just make me breakfast too. I said that it would take next to no extra effort on her part to throw in a couple more eggs, strips of bacon, an extra portion of hash browns, etc., since she's already doing it for herself, anyway. But it started a fight, with her saying that it wasn't fair for me to expect her to think of me in the morning since I don't do the same for her. She seems to think that her making breakfast for me should figure into our division of labor and that I should do something extra in return. But I think that since she makes a huge breakfast for herself every morning anyway, that throwing an extra portion of whatever she's making on for me would take next to no effort on her part, so why should I have to do more for her in return than I already do? The top replies, "You are the idiot. These kinds of posts always make me sad with how transactional the relationship is, and then they tell you the actual division of labor and I don't feel bad anymore." Original poster: if you want her to put in extra effort to make you happy by making breakfast and make your life easier, where are you putting in extra effort just to make her happy and make her life easier? Don't expect someone to give 110% and go out of their way to do extra stuff for you if you're not gonna do the same. The second reply, "You're talking about proposing and kids. Will she never get a morning off from kids because you hate mornings? She's already up, so she should be the one to pack bags and lunches and cook everyone's breakfast. She's breastfeeding, so you never need to cover the night wake-ups. She's home earlier, often, and that's the person who starts dinner and picks up the kids and deals with the homework, but you're totally doing 50/50. She's washing her clothes anyway, so it's no extra effort to put yours in, then fold them and put them away, cause she's doing that for the rest of the load, right? It sounds like she already feels like she's doing more and now you're asking for something else. If it would require effort and energy for you to do it, it requires effort and energy for her to do it. This may be a small amount of additional energy for this one thing, but it makes me wonder if she's already feeling that she's putting out significantly more effort for household duties as it stands. Edit. Thanks for the awards. Oh, and you are the idiot." The third reply, "I'm trying to understand because I didn't get it. You want her to breakfast for 2 in the morning because you don't have the strength to, but it's not supposed to count as a chore like the rest?" The fourth reply, "Idiot. I remember the early days of counting up all you do and all they do. The worst part, but natural to have to get past. My problem here is your unwillingness to try. Or to say, is there anything else I could do, because I'd appreciate it so much even if you could make me a breakfast every once in a while. Also that you think it's going to be zero less effort? Not true, nor is the cost. There's bound to be a way to sort it, but it's about your attitudes. Good luck." The second story, Am I the idiot for leaving Thanksgiving dinner after my son-in-law got snarky with me and some people started defending her? I'm 27 female, not close to my son-in-law, 26 female. We're not at each other's throats or anything, but she just seems to be slacking off sometimes. I've tried to help her out a bit and talk to her, but she never wanted to hear it. Son-in-law recently got a new entry-level job that she'll be relocating for. We celebrated Thanksgiving with my husband's 29 male family this year, and it was a massive get-together. A lot of people congratulated son-in-law on her new job, which is understandable. However, my in-laws were acting like they'd won $1 billion. Some relatives kept asking about son-in-law's new job, when she'll be moving, etc. I tried to change the topic, but my son-in-law got kind of pissed and said something like, "You don't have to be a part of this conversation." I replied that we're all proud of her. Maybe people want to talk about other things sometimes too. Son-in-law again got very snarky and said, again, leave the conversation. I'll admit I got annoyed at that point and said, coming from the woman who's milking compliments for something most people achieve by the age of 16, my son-in-law got really mad and said I have no position saying that. There were a few people around that started going off at me. I eventually walked off and told my husband I was leaving. He didn't know what was going on at that point, but in the heat of the moment I just took the car and left. A cousin ended up dropping him off at home. My son-in-law is obviously pissed at me and my husband heard the whole thing. He said I created a scene for no reason and should apologize to son-in-law, even though people started going off at me. I shared this with my mom and she said I wasn't wrong and people are coddling son-in-law. I get that I might have overreacted a bit, but I think it was justified. Am I the idiot? The top replies. You were part of a conversation others were having. Annoyed that they wouldn't change it for you. Insulted someone who has a life achievement. Degraded their worth. How could you possibly think you wouldn't be an idiot? You are the idiot with bells on. The second reply. You are the idiot. You tried to change the topic for the entire table because you didn't feel like engaging in the conversation. If there were other people also annoyed by the topic, start a side conversation with them, although I feel like you would have mentioned if that was the case. From what you presented, you were the only one. You were snide and snobby. I don't know your son-in-law's circumstances, but I don't need to. It doesn't matter that it's entry level. The family was excited for her, but you had to make it all about yourself. And based on son-in-law reaction, I doubt this was the first time you tried to take light away from her so you could shine instead. The third reply. You are the idiot. She was excited about a new job and moving and her family was excited for her. You just decided that it wasn't good enough to be excited over, but that isn't really for you to decide. If you were uncomfortable about the conversation, you should have just left it. Leaving the whole event is petty and rude, especially to your husband. The fourth reply. You are the idiot. The snarky one was you, not you, son-in-law. You come across as petty, jealous, insecure, and immature. In a massive get-together, you somehow weaseled yourself into your son-in-law's conversations. She was correct in telling you to butt out. The third story. Am I the idiot for introducing my boyfriend's parents as grandma and grandpa to my son? This last Thursday I, 29F, went over to my boyfriend, Jay's 25M, house for Thanksgiving and brought my son, 4, with me. I and Jay have been together for 1.5 years now, and he is the most amazing man in the world. He's been amazing with my son. His bio father is not in his life, and I can genuinely see him as the one. Jay's parents came over as well. It's not that I don't get along with them, it's just I have only ever seen them 3 times before this Thanksgiving. I have not had any time to really bond with them, I guess. They had never met my son in person either, but they both knew about him. By the time I arrived, Jay's parents were already there and helping him finish up dinner. We greeted each other and Jay's dad asked, "And who's this little guy?" I introduced them to my son and then introduced Jay's parents as grandma and grandpa to my precious boy. I didn't notice at the time, but all 3 of them became quiet almost immediately. I ended up waiting in the living room alone for almost half an hour before dinner and things just were incredibly awkward for the rest of the night. My son did end up calling his parents by grandpa and grandma, and I quickly noticed both of them would be very disingenuous and awkward about it over dinner, but they did not say anything to me about it. They didn't stick around for long after either, but when they left both were very cold to me. I asked Jay what was their deal and he lost it at me. He claims I put him in an incredibly awkward position. His parents apparently didn't think we were that serious yet and began to question him if I was only using him as a replacement daddy. He said that it was way out of line to introduce them that way without even talking to him beforehand. I think it's ridiculous. If one day he's going to be my son's stepdad, then why go through this formal nonsense? He claimed that's not the point, and we ended up fighting till I stormed out. We have not talked since, and I have simply been waiting for an apology. I talked with my sister about it last night and she said she was mortified to hear this, saying she also didn't get the read that we were all that serious and she never felt like Jay intended to take on a dad role. This has got me questioning if I was wrong. The top replies,
You are the idiot.
You basically made the decision that Jay and his family are now your son's family all on your own, with no discussion beforehand, and that is why everyone is upset.
While I'm sure no one is against the idea outright, the formal nonsense is a very necessary step when it comes to merging families.
And to be honest, you probably need to have a serious discussion with Jay about where this is heading sooner rather than later if both his parents and your sister did not think you two were that serious. What if he does not actually see himself as a father to your child, or does not see the relationship that seriously either? This is why we need the formal nonsense and talking it through with everyone involved. The second reply, You are the idiot, original poster. I had that conversation with my own parents when I was pregnant. They have the right to choose what they are called. They chose unconventional nicknames rather than traditional. What you have done is an even bigger conversation than that. It's a profound assumption. Aside from whether that's where your relationship is, you need to ask how they want to be called. Sigh. Oh goodness, original poster. You need to be the one to apologize. Third reply. Wow, you are the idiot. How extremely awkward. Also, did you think for half a second how devastated your son will be when you guys break up and grandma and grandpa are no longer in his life? How utterly confusing for him. You didn't think about anyone but yourself and your childish fantasy. You are the idiot big time. You created an unnecessary core memory for your poor son. He'll likely never forget the moment he was introduced to people you called his grandparents, and will develop feelings of rejection and abandonment all because of your selfishness. And even though I'm a woman, if I were your boyfriend I would break up with you over this. There was a line and you just tra-la-la skipped over that line. Fourth story. Am I the idiot for not adding a third bathroom to our house? My husband, our daughters, 18, 16, 12, and I live in a 4-bed 2-bath house. All of the girls share a bathroom and they've been complaining about it for a while. We've been saying we'll convert the laundry room into a bathroom for the twins for a while. It's an expensive project, so we've never gotten to it. My husband and I started working on our garage recently and turned it into a gym for him, a new laundry room, and an office for me. Then we came into some money and decided to renovate both bathrooms, remodel the kitchen, and do work on the backyard. The girls were pissed when we told them about the work we were doing on the house. They were saying it's not fair that my husband gets a gym when the twins share a room and that we chose to work on the backyard instead of adding the third bathroom. They've been calling us selfish and even got our parents and siblings to give us a hard time for not giving the girls another bathroom or giving the twins their own rooms. They don't understand that now that the laundry room is done we have the space for the bathroom. The bathroom is next on our list. I wanted to get some outside opinions on this since our kids and our families have been giving us a hard time. The top replies. You are the idiot. Does going without a home gym diminish quality of life? No. Does forcing 4 humans to share one source of plumbing diminish quality of life? Yes. You are the idiot for springing for a luxury instead of choosing to make life easier for your kids. Editing because I keep getting the same comment over and over of people saying something along the lines of, how dare you? I live in a house of 6/9/12 and we share 1/2/ a fraction of a bathroom. You are spoiled and icky. And I'm really tired of penning the same response over and over, so I'll just say here. I grew up the youngest of 5. I shared a bathroom for 18 years with siblings. I share an apartment with a few folks, and we share one bathroom. My point is that, if I had a bunch of money lying around, I'd spend it to make the lives of my kids a bit easier, rather than on something frivolous. For all of you crying out, entitlement and luxury. Please take the time, whilst you red in your faces at the prospect of 2 people sharing a bathroom instead of 4, to also take your energy to defend original poster's choice to redo the existing bathrooms, redo her kitchen, add a new gym, and redesign her backyard. You all like to skate over the fact that original poster lied to her kids about a new bathroom, and has presumably been doing so for a while. Hopefully that hits anything that anybody else who wants to hop on and complain into the internet void could possibly care about. The second reply. You are the idiot for no other reason than you've led the girls to believe that it would be done when you get the opportunity. You have the chance and doing everything but. The third reply. Yeah, all of the NTA people are missing that original poster has been telling her kids, for a while, that they will get another bathroom. If original poster hadn't set that expectation, then she wouldn't be an idiot, but lying to your kids, for literally no reason, is definitely an idiot move. She literally could have said no to the bathroom and then come back and said yes later if they decided they could do it.